So, it has been announced that Dan Quinn, a couple of days, I think it was about a week ago, has kept his head coaching job for the Atlanta Falcons, and Thomas Dimitroff will be continuing as a general manager for the Falcons. Thomas Dimitroff, I have no problem, because he has nothing to do with how the team is coached. He has nothing, he does have something to do with the defensive coordinator, but it's really Dan Quinn's fault. And I can understand why Arthur Blank did keep Dan Quinn, because in the end, we ended up going on I think it was almost a 4 or 5 game winning streak, and we ended up finishing 7-9. But Falcons fans need to realize this. I'm a Falcons fan. We need to realize this. Why the heck did we need a comeback streak in the first place? Why do we have to finish 7-9 in the first place? I've done research. Dan Quinn has been the head coach for the Falcons 5 seasons. And in those 5 seasons, only 2 of those have actual winning records. That was 2015 and 2016 and 2017, sorry. 2016 was the year we made it to the Super Bowl and we lost. 2017, we made it to the playoffs again, but we got beat by the Eagles. In the other 3 years, besides this year, because this year we finished 7-9. We finished 7-9 in 28 last year, and then in his first season, he finished 8-8. I'm gonna go on a limb here and say, Arthur Blank, I really love you. You've done a lot for this Atlanta Falcons team. You gave us Atlanta United, but you made the wrong choice, man. Just because the defensive guys started playing good in the final 4 games doesn't make a difference. They wouldn't have to play good if he didn't make the wrong decisions in the first place. The first bad decision that we made was firing our defensive coordinator. Thankfully, now we have a new defensive coordinator, and he's pretty good. I think his name is Morris, if I remember right. But if we actually had played like this, why did we start playing like this at the beginning of the season? What changed? Seriously, what changed? We got a defensive coordinator. That's what changed. It wasn't Dan Quinn being the defensive coordinator. He was the head coach, and that's all he was in the last half of the season, and look where it got us. If we had done this earlier, we had done this at the beginning of the season, we would have had a very good shot of making the playoffs. The Eagles finished, what did they finish, 9-7? 9-7. We would have had a shot. We finished 7-9. I'm pretty sure we're going to have if I remember, we're going to have the 14th or 15th pick in the draft. I'm actually happy that we do that, because we have a good record when it comes to picking at around that area, because we drafted Julio Jones around that area, or I think we drafted Julio Jones a little bit early. I think it was 12th pick or 10th pick. But Dan Quinn, I've always said this. I'm continuing to say this. We made the wrong choice. We needed a new head coach. We needed a new head coach that was not so defensive. Because the best thing about the Falcons right now, I'm going to say this, is our offense. And considering that we have a defensive guy as our coach, the offense is going to start lacking. Look at when we had, Kyle Shanahan as our offensive coordinator. Our offense was the best in the NFL. But here's my argument with the people that say Dan Quinn should not have been fired. I basically already argued. If you don't think Dan Quinn should have been fired, how when this team has had one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, the best wide receiver in the NFL in the last 5 to 7 years, why do we only have 2 seasons with a over 500 record with this offense and Dan Quinn as head coach? Why have we only made the playoffs twice in Dan Quinn's 5 years as a head coach? Dan Quinn right now reminds me of Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett, I've heard when he started out his first season, he finished 8-8. Is that familiar? Dan Quinn's first season with the Falcons, he finished 8-8. I just don't like Dan Quinn. I just don't. There's something about the way he coaches I just don't like. Maybe it's that he's a defensive guy, but I understand that you're trying to build up this defense, but this defense doesn't need to be built up anymore. This offense needs to be built up, man. But we won't be doing that without an offensive coach. There are a lot of good guys we could have possibly done. We could have took a chance on someone. We took a chance on Dan Quinn. Turned out decent. We could have took a chance on the guy from Patriots, the offense coordinator from the Patriots. Possibly could have worked out with him. I just wanted somebody offensive for this Falcons. And now, it has been released. The Falcons' schedule for 2020, now that our season's over, we're probably going to be drafting an offensive guy or a cornerback because we need another cornerback. But the games that we'll be playing next year at home, now this is not my official prediction because I'm going to be doing those predictions after the draft. But the Falcons games go like this. At home, we face the Saints, Panthers, Bucks, Bears, Lions, Broncos, Raiders, Seahawks. That home schedule looks like it's going to be very, very easy for the Falcons. It looks like that. I said the Falcons were going to have 12 wins or 11 wins this season. I said they were going to go 11-5, and we finished 7-9. And then away, which is going to be the worst one out of them all, we face the Saints, Panthers, Bucks, because that's our division. But then we face the Vikings, Chiefs, Chargers, Packers, and the Cowboys. So there's two games I'm really worried about right there. The Vikings, because they whooped our butts in the first game of the season this year, and then the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And what he's gonna do to our defense, I am looking forward to it, man. I am looking forward to it. Now, I did a quick go through at what I think the Falcons could do, but it's not my official prediction until the draft comes, because then by the end I'll know like who has who, because the Chargers can end up drafting a quarterback and they could be good next year. But as I go right now, the home games, I think we're going to lose 2 home games and win 6. Those 2 home losses I think that are going to come to us are going to be losses against the Seahawks because Russell Wilson is just unbelievable. And shockingly, I'm actually going to say the Saints. I think the Saints are going to beat us because Drew Brees is unbelievable. I gotta give him credit. I call Drew Brees the greatest of all time when it comes to the NFL, and I believe I stand by my word. I think Drew Brees is the greatest of all time, and there's nothing that's going to change my mind. So yeah, I think those are the 2 losses that are going to happen at home. But then we have some losses that comes away. I think we're going to actually lose the Panthers. I think the Panthers are going to fix themselves next year. I think we're going to lose the Saints away. I think we're going to lose to Vikings and Chiefs because we got butt swooped by the Vikings. And the Chiefs are too good for us. And I think, shockingly, we're going to lose to the, I was about to say Atlanta Falcons. I think we're going to lose to the Green Bay Packers. Yes, Nate. If you're watching this, I think we're going to lose to the Packers. And that, in the end, means we would finish opposite this season. We would finish with 9-7. But notice how I said that. We would finish with 9-7, but I know we're not going to finish 9-7 because this Falcons team needs to change their head coach. And now that we haven't, I don't trust Dan Quinn for next year. I feel like we're going to do the exact same thing, and then Arthur Quinn is going to keep him again. But I swear to you, if Dan Quinn does this again next season, he will not be head coach this season. He will not be head coach because Arthur Blank wants to win a Super Bowl. He wants to win a Super Bowl for Atlanta. He's already won the title with Atlanta United. Don't you think he wants a Super Bowl? But I know one thing for sure. Dan Quinn won't win us a Super Bowl.